welcome to the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl podcast, a place for you to find the courage you need to take the first step and every step thereafter to create the habits, the confidence, and the life that you love. I'm your host, health and life coach, Abby Hegney. Let's dive in. Welcome back to episode 60 of the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about the willingness to keep going. I had a client last week during her coaching session. She asked me what I thought the difference was between those that reach their goals and those that fall short. And I said, without a doubt, it's the willingness to keep going. And I have been thinking a lot about this ever since my client asked me that question. Because the truth is, the willingness to keep going is really great in theory, but it's easier said than done. Otherwise, more people would reach their goals. More women would have the habits that make them feel incredible, the habits that they so badly want. They would lose the weight and they would know with confidence that that weight is lost forever. And yet so many women struggled to do that. So what I want to talk to you about today is what keeps people from being willing to keep going. And then I want to talk to you about the 3 things that I believe are key to reaching your goals, to creating the habits, the confidence, the life that you want, and to lose the weight that you want to lose, and to feel the balance that you want to feel. Ultimately, I believe these 3 things that contribute to being willing to keep going could help you to achieve any goal that you set for yourself. So let's first talk about what I believe stops you in your tracks, that makes you give up before you get to your goals, that chisels away at that willingness to keep going. First and foremost, your inner mean girl and the stories that she tells you day in and day out. Hands down, this is the number one thing standing between you and your goals. And not just the big stories like, I'm such a loser. Why can't I do it? I can never stick with anything. Yes, those stories will chisel away at your willingness to keep going. They will hold you back. But those louder, more apparent stories are a lot easier to catch because they are so obvious, because they carry a heaviness with them. But oftentimes, your inner mean girl is subtle and more quiet. And these subtle stories often present as, I don't feel like it. I don't want to. It's not enough. I could be doing more. I have other things that need to get done. I have no control. When you are constantly feeding yourself these stories throughout your journey will be fueled by frustration and disappointment. It will never feel like it's enough. You will always think that you have to do more, and that's a heavy load to carry. Too heavy of a load. This is why eventually you end up giving up because it's too heavy to carry along. It doesn't feel like you can keep doing it after a certain amount of time. Which brings me to the second reason that people give up on their goals, which is they don't want to feel negative emotions. As soon as frustration or disappointment creeps in, as soon as you feel discouraged, that becomes a personal attack on your ability to create change. When your inner mean girl tells you that you're not doing enough, or you think, I could have done more, it becomes a story that you then use against yourself. But your journey to creating healthier habits, losing weight, and keeping it off is all things, just like the human experience that I talked about on last week's episode. If you did not listen to the human experience episode, please go back and listen to it now. Everybody needs to hear that episode. There will be big emotions throughout your journey. There will be challenging days, days when you are not motivated, days when you want to give up. And this is where the willingness to keep going is key. And if you truly understand and are willing for your journey to be all things, you know there is something greater beyond those bad days. But you have to be willing to feel those heavy emotions that come with your journey, not only with change, but with your journey as a human being. And the last thing that I think really stands in the way of so many people reaching their goals and being willing to keep going is setting arbitrary timelines. How many times have you started with the thought, I'm going to give myself 2 weeks or a month? And if you don't see results within that amount of time, you get really frustrated, you get really disappointed, you get really discouraged, and you tell yourself it's not working and you give up. Or you change course completely and then you feel like you have to start all over again, which also comes with a level of disappointment and frustration and discouragement. Women do this all of the time, especially when it comes to weight loss. I know I did this all of the time. I'd get those magazines that were like, lose weight in 5 days, and I'd give myself 5 days. And when that didn't happen, I would get really frustrated and be like, well, I can't do it. That didn't work for me. And then I jump to the next thing. It's the most frustrating place that you can take yourself. Because here is what I know for sure to be true. If you are willing to keep going, if you are willing to figure out exactly what works for you, for your body and your life, if you quieted your inner mean girl and you no longer fell victim to those heavy stories that she feeds you, if you created habits that felt easy to maintain no matter how busy life is, and you lost weight and felt confident that it was staying off, you would not care how long it took you. The problem is most women don't believe that it will actually happen. They don't trust themselves to stick with it, to figure it out. So they give up before they ever even give themselves a chance to realize those results. And that's really what I want to shift for you today. So, what does it take to keep going? The more I thought about this after that discussion with my client, the more I truly believe that it comes down to three things. I'm going to tell you what the three things are, and then we'll break down each of them. The first is desire over doubt. The second is courage before confidence. And the third is future over fear and failure. And I don't necessarily think these have to be the order in which they come. I actually think they're quite intertwined and will need to happen at different times throughout your journey, regardless of where you are in your journey. And the reason for that is those stories of your inner mean girl, the ones that want to pull you back, the ones that want to keep you stuck, the ones that typically would have caused you to give up in the past, they are always there. When I talk about quieting your inner mean girl, it's never with the intent of getting rid of her. Those stories, that voice of your inner mean girl is a natural part of your brain. It's your brain's way of protecting you and keeping you safe. Change is scary. It's unknown. That is where your brain is like, no, 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 we're not ready for this. The point of quieting your inner mean girl is knowing I know these stories that hold me back and being able to see the truth and the possibility and what you are capable of through those stories. And this is where desire over doubt, courage before confidence, and future over fear and failure really comes in. So let's break these down. Desire over doubt. You create a goal in your life. You see a vision for the habits, the confidence, the weight you want to lose, the balance you want to feel. You see that because you desire that outcome. But because you haven't yet created that or haven't yet created it in a way in which you can maintain, there is going to be a level of doubt there. Not because you can't do it or it's not possible, you're not capable, but because you haven't done it yet. And most people have a really negative relationship with doubt. They don't want to doubt themselves. They just want to be able to do it and keep going. But doubt is part of the process. What you want to do is remember the desire. You want to remember what's waiting for you on the other side. It's not that you will never doubt yourself. The key is that you don't let the doubt stop you. If you can create a better relationship with doubt, if you can feel that emotion, really that's what doubt is. It's just an emotion in your body and recognize the stories that come with it. I don't know if I can do this. It's not working. I'm scared. I've tried so many times in the past. What's going to make this different? If you can recognize them and bring yourself back to, I want this. This is important to me. I know I'll feel so much better when I do this. That one thought, I know I will feel so much better when I do this, has driven so many results for my clients. It is so simple, and yet it's what enhances the desire over the doubt. The second is courage before confidence. We want to feel confident. We want to show up and know what we're doing and have it nailed down and feel really good about it. But the only way that we can ever be good at something, that we can ever be confident in our ability to deliver and to continue to deliver, is to have the courage to take that first step, to have the courage to keep going, to move through the stories of your inner mean girl, to move through the doubt, to move through the big emotions, to move through the arbitrary timelines that maybe you don't hit, and to keep going. Confidence is the result of courage. So many of us have that backwards, but today I really want you to flip that around and to think about, I believe in myself enough to take one step today, to think about what that one step that's available to you today is, and to be willing to have that courage to take it. I have talked to so many women who have told me, I've thought about scheduling a consultation with you for so long. And that first step that they take, where they schedule that call, is the step that I celebrate the most, because that took the greatest amount of courage to go from doing it alone to knowing I want help through this process. That creates momentum. We build momentum from courage, and we gain confidence with every courageous step, every courageous thought, every courageous belief about ourselves and our journey. And the last piece is future over fear and failure. So many times, women especially, and women in weight loss and creating healthier habits and balance, this is the thing that holds them back the most. They think about all of the times that they have tried, all of the times that they have failed, all of the things that didn't work, all of the times that they have given up, all of the times that they have started only to stop or lost only to gain, and they revert back to their past, to everything that has ever happened. Their fear builds that that's just the way that it is. And they completely miss what's waiting for them in the future, what they are capable of, what is possible for them to create when they have the willingness to keep going, to move through that fear, to see all of those past failures as lessons of, I know now what didn't work. I have built the capacity to handle failures. I know that I want this. It's an opportunity to bring yourself back to that desire. But you have to think about your future. Your future is never created from your past. Your past has led you to the moment where you are in right now. But if you still have that desire for change, for something greater, have the courage to move through the fear and the failure of the past and to keep your feet and your face pointed in the direction that you want to go. That is the number one thing I tell my clients every time we start. My job is to keep you focused on where you want to go. We're going to take what we need from the past. We're going to take the lessons. We're going to take the strength and the confidence that you have built. Even if you see those as failures, I see them as you have so much information that we can use in your favor. But we've got to be willing to move through it. We've got to be willing to keep going. When you build the muscle of willingness to keep going, to take the next step, to move yourself forward on the good days, but more importantly, on the bad days, it is inevitable that you will reach your goals. You will create habits that feel easy to maintain. You will feel more confident and comfortable in your own skin. You will lose weight and you will keep it off. And you will find the balance that allows you to live the life that you love. But it comes back to that willingness to keep going, to choose desire over doubt, courage before confidence, and your future over fear or failures, especially fear or failures of your past. All right, my friends, dig into these thoughts. Dig into these feelings of desire, of courage, of facing your future over fear and failure. Take that step. Be willing to keep going. And I promise you, your goals will come to life. And they will come to life in a way that you never even thought possible. And as always, if you want support in this journey, reach out, schedule a free consultation. Let's talk about what the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl method could look like for you and your goals and your life. All right, my friend, I will talk to you next week. If you are loving this podcast, please subscribe, rate, or review. Or if you know someone who would benefit from this message, please share it with them. And if you are ready to quiet your inner mean girl, to create habits that make you feel amazing, to lose weight and confidently keep it off while living the life that you love, I invite you to schedule your complimentary 60-minute consultation. We'll discuss where you are, where you want to be, and how my Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl method can help you create the future that you want. You can find the link to book your call in the show notes, or you can also connect with me directly on Instagram at Wellness with Abby H. I can't wait to talk to you.